Hey, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my maintenance intervals that I am using to take care of my 2019 6.7 Power Stroke. Now, I will link to another channel here. This is what I'm basing my intervals off of, and that YouTube channel is Power Stroke Tech Talk with A-Rod. A-Rod is an incredible resource, and his channel has, I think, like 1,200 videos on power strokes and power stroke maintenance. But there's a video in particular where he walks through on a whiteboard the maintenance intervals similar to Bill Hewitt at powerstrokehelp.com, and he really talks about what intervals you should be using to take care of your power stroke so that it lasts the longest possible. I'm going to be summarizing the intervals that I'm following based on A-Rod's videos. I will not be giving a justification as to why I'm following them, but I'm just going to cover them here. And then if you're interested in learning more, I will link to A-Rod's video in the description below. All right, so to start off, I'm going to be talking about what I do for maintenance every 5,000 miles on my power stroke. Every 5,000 miles, I am changing the oil. Also at 5,000 miles, I'm rotating my tires. I'm greasing the fittings on my 4x4 axle shaft U-joints, which are on the front end. And I am checking and draining my fuel water separator. At 10,000 miles, I am repeating what I did at 5,000 miles, so oil change, tire rotation, grease fittings, check and drain the fuel water separator, but I'm also inspecting my lights, exhaust, brakes, and tires. I like taking a walk around, making sure I don't have a light out, making sure I don't have any nails or debris in my tires, and just generally checking on the truck to make sure that when I take it out, it's gonna make it down the road. Every 15,000 miles, which is a pretty big milestone. 15,000 miles, you've done a decent amount of driving. I am oil change, tire rotation, grease fittings, drain the fuel water separator, but I am also changing my fuel filters. And if you have a truck that still has a DPF on it, I like to add some sort of DPF cleaning solution. So Arch Oil makes a product. I know there's others out there that you can add. And I think it also goes without saying that every time I'm filling up with diesel, I'm putting in an additive. I use Arch Oil's both winter and summer diesel additive and cetane boost. And just for reference, when I talk about changing the fuel filters, you have the upper fuel filters with those annoying plastic clamps, and then you have your lower fuel filter where you actually have to take out some 8mm bolts, I think is what they are, in order to get it off and replace it. Okay, you've made it to 30,000 miles. We are doing everything that we've done at every 5,000 mile interval. We are doing fuel filters again. We're doing an oil change, tire rotation, grease fittings, draining the fuel water separator. But we are also draining and filling both cooling systems. So the 6.7s have two cooling systems. If you can do it yourself, great. A-Rod has a bunch of videos on it. I would definitely check those out, but you should be draining and refilling your coolant, not flushing, draining and refilling every 30,000 miles. Every 60,000 miles, you should be draining and filling your transmission and changing the filter. So A-Rod does not recommend doing your transfer case. I guess you could if you're down there. The transfer case also takes the Mercon LV. So every 60,000, obviously you're doing all your other maintenance that you get at those increments, but you're also doing your transmission fluid and changing the filter. All right, so if you've been doing the every 5,000 and all the other increments that I have listed, which I'll make sure I'm adding the text here on the screen so that you can see exactly what you need to be writing down in terms of intervals. I have it written down in my maintenance log, but every 100,000 miles, this is a big one. It's an expensive one. You should be doing everything you're doing, plus checking your air filter and or replacing, checking your belts for cracks, check your hoses for cracks, change both differential for fluid. So your front and rear axle fluid should get changed at 100,000 miles. You should also change the fluid in your transfer case if you didn't do it at 60. You should replace your thermostat at 100,000 miles. That is an interesting one. You think the truck's going through tons of heat cycles, and after a while, a thermostat is going to wear out. You also, again, need to drain and fill both cooling systems potentially. If you're doing it every 30,000, you know, maybe you did it at 90,000, maybe you're gonna wait and just do it at 100K with everything else. You're gonna be doing the fuel filters, oil change, tire rotation, grease fittings, draining the water and fuel separator. So the only thing I would add to A-Rod's maintenance list, as his list is already very comprehensive, is you should also, every 5,000 to 10,000 miles, be checking your front end. I think you could also extend that potentially out to 30,000 miles, depending on whether you're driving on rough roads or you're driving on highway most of the time. As I had mentioned in my intro video for the channel, I didn't have death wobble. But I was able to, by having someone work the wheel and going under the truck and looking at the joints, find some loose joints and have Ford pay to replace them. So I wouldn't wait for death wobble or any other problems to appear. You know, take the initiative, go under your truck, check for leaks, check for, you know, ball joints that are worn out, check everything in a regular interval to make sure that you're maximizing the value you have out of this truck and you're not having repairs sneak up on you that you have to pay for because you're out of your warranty with Ford. If you can catch them early, you can have them pay for them. If you found this video helpful, would it be a bad idea to subscribe? So I know there's a lot of good resources out there. As I mentioned in this video, please check out Bill Hewitt at powerstrokehelp.com and Powerstroke Tech Talk with A-Rod. They are both fantastic resources. Where I've learned a lot about how to take care of your truck, how to do different modifications, what parts are out there that are good, what parts to avoid. They are an incredible resource, so definitely check them out, and I will leave links to both their channels below. Thanks for checking out this video.